Many of the millennials today do not remember a time before the internet. The concept of handwriting a letter, using a payphone, or even writing a reminder on a post-it note is considered fairly taboo to them. However, since I grew up during the transitional period of the 1990s, when telephones were still attached to a wall with a cord, and AOL Messenger was kind of a big deal, I decided to follow the latest trend in our current digital age: social media. When I started researching this assignment in February, I briefly wrote down what I thought about social media and also what I wanted to answer, if anything. That way, I could track my thought process, observe any changes over the course of the term, and eventually share what I learned with others. Social media can be considered a destroyer. With billions of users sharing content across multiple platforms, we are at a risk of being overexposed. Experiences that once gave the allure of exclusivity or uniqueness are now being watered down. Take these two articles, for example. Coachella is pretty much the kickoff celebration for the summer festival season. Everyone from toddlers, with mom and dad of course, to notable celebrities flock to Indio, California for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Fashion Week is considered a quintessential biannual event. Elite members of society, as well as members of the fashion industry, get to attend these events that many of us would die to attend, or at least secretly have on our bucket list to attend. However, with social media showing, or rather telling us, what the best of everything is, it can make these events less desirable. Questions come to mind like, why pay to attend when I can simply follow a hashtag or live stream online? And, where's the incentive to post about my experience if it's generally the same as everyone else's? Furthermore, we are more apt to bully, be more passive-aggressive, or even more offensive on social media. And why not? It's not like we're face-to-face with the person or persons we're having issues with. Social media has proved that it's easier to hide behind a screen than face confrontation head-on. Plus, we've trapped ourselves in this behavioral loophole where we frivolously like someone's photo, comment, or status. The issue doesn't stop there, though. The person on the other end instantly receives a notification that you've reacted to their post, whether you meant to or not. Do you take it back? Do you leave it? Or do you worry about the interpretation of your action? It honestly makes my head spin thinking about it. With all the bad behavior that has stemmed from social media, it has also created some good. It serves as an outlet for you to freely express yourself and your creativity. It helps you find and connect with like-minded or like-interested individuals that you otherwise would never meet. In a culture that is very me-oriented, it has actually reduced the need for suing. Instead of wasting millions of dollars suing a fellow brand for an intellectual property right infringement on one of your own products that may never come to fruition, your brand can let them, your fans, and their fans know they copied you by passive-aggressively shaming them on social media. It helps you keep connected with loved ones, and also, maybe most importantly, helps you know your friends or loved ones are safe following a natural disaster or terrorist attack in the area they may be. It also helps businesses not only find their target market, but also allows for a seamlessly endless and open conversation between business and consumer that may otherwise not exist without social media. Unfortunately, the harsh reality of all my research is that social media may actually be ruining us as a society. Social media is part of the DNA of the under 30 generation, and their undying need to constantly keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, across all social media is actually bad for their health. Many users are becoming depressed, jealous, and even envious of those they follow because of how they have portrayed themselves. The ironic truth is, only 20% of people actually tell the absolute honest truth of who they are on their social media. Plus, only 2% of the people on your friends list would be there for you in a crisis. Not very many people are willing to share that they are a terribly judgmental person in real life on social media. Social media has created in our minds this undying need to be liked, not offend, and for some, secretly be better than others on our friends list. Our behavior online has created a false sense of reality, and who we are in person versus who we are online are sometimes two completely different people. So tell me again why we are perpetuating this behavior and allowing these so-called apps that are supposed to make our lives easier actually make our lives worse? To fix this, we need to remember a time before Facebook existed. You know, before 2004, when we got our celebrity gossip, and that's what it was, gossip, from magazines, we read a book when we were bored, or even explored outside. We need to remember that it's important to interact face to face instead of through a screen. We need to reevaluate our behavior online. Just because we can privatize our social medias from the outside world doesn't mean we aren't behaving badly to those we actually are friends with. And lastly, try a social media detox, because the prolonged exposure to social media isn't just impacting our behavior and our lifestyle, but also our mental health and our interpersonal skills. As you can see on this slide, I learned a lot throughout this project, not only about social media, but also about myself. However, here are a few things I didn't include. Number 1, I am addicted to social media. I wake up and it's the first thing I check, as well as check maybe 20 or more times throughout the day. This is not because I intentionally care what others are thinking, doing, or sharing, but because I have been accustomed to lazy behavior, which is to look through my phone when I think I'm bored instead of doing something productive. Number 2, social media hasn't ruined my need to experience things for myself. However, I do get overly annoyed with the constant shares of fitness updates, buy my latest company's fad product, or look at 100 pics of my baby. So, I will try to be mindful of the things I share in the future. Number 3. As soon as the semester ends, I will try a social media detox to see if it alters my behavior and improves my life. I know I get annoyed with others when they are glued to their phones instead of actively involved with whatever we are doing together. So by changing my habits, maybe I will influence those around me to change theirs. Thank you for taking this journey with me. It was definitely an eye-opening experience and made me reevaluate how I interact on social media. It was proof that we as society have grown accustomed to lazy behavior, which is to be wired to our phones and to social media for upwards of 11 hours a day. I didn't realize how much of an impact, mostly negative, that social media had not only on my life and my behavior, but those around me. It's time to fix it.